Hello! First and foremost, there are a couple different versions of this video. If you want to watch just the build montage with some music, but no backstory and no overdub of the process, you can check that out here. Secondly, I took a deep dive into why the heck there's so many jacks on the back of a 115 bass cabinet. I just wanted to dive a little deeper into that ambitious setup and everything that I accomplished, so you can check out that video here. So if you know me, you know that I'm into pedals and I'm into pedal boards, so I'm no stranger when it comes to soldering and wiring. I like making rather intricate setups. I like really nice, neat, organized boards. But woodworking, however, that's something I would consider myself an amateur at. But in October of 2020, I decided to build a pedal board case for my custom-sized 13 by 13 Creation Music Company flat series. And that was quite the adventure, but it went really well. That was my first time using a lot of bigger power tools, first time using a router, first time using a table saw. It was also my first time applying Tolex to anything, and again, that was an adventure, but it went really well, and I'm really proud of that. Shortly after that, I kept the woodworking going, and I made this shelf for my pedals. Not long after that, I made this desk for my little in-bedroom studio space. And then a little while ago, I was thinking about putting together some rigs to play some live music, specifically because back in September, I released some solo music under my name, Adonijah Driver. It's called Every Time EP. And so I'm looking forward to a day that I get to play that music live with some friends. So I was doing a little bit of rig building for that. So for my lead guitarist and for my bass player, I settled on two fantastic heads, the Alpha Omega 900 from Darkglass Electronics and the Milkman The Amp 100, both of which are DI-able amps that have cab sims right on them. But I just love having cabs on stage for the presence, so I thought, why not just build them? So let's get right into it. Take a look at my process. Let me know what you think. Alright, so first we enter what I would call phase one, which is woodwork. It is a long process. I chose to do box joints for the basic frame of the cabinets, which requires a lot of passes on a single blade table saw. Took a long time, a lot of patience, but it went really well. I got better every time. Then you assemble your boxes, pound them together, glue them together, strap it overnight. That's my favorite shot because the box was just sliding away from me and I had no idea because I'm an amateur. Lots of wood glue in all of them, press them together. Cabinet C right there, I refer to them as A, B, and C in the order I built them, but Cabinet C definitely came out the best right off the bat. It didn't even require this process, which is taking off the excess height that overlapped on your box joints. Here I'm cutting the baffle stops, which are used to hold on the front and back baffle boards, one of which holds the speaker. You gotta put holes through those to be able to affix the speaker board. Then you cut a very circular hole out of your speaker board. Doesn't have to be perfect, but with a jigsaw and a router, I was able to get them pretty accurate. The baseboard has two extra holes for ports that I'm installing here with a lot of wood glue to make sure they're nice and airtight. There I am putting the holes through to install T-nuts. T-nuts are used to screw in the speaker board and then doing some cleanup before we move on to painting the speaker boards. You make them black so you don't see the bare wood when you get bright lights on your grill cloth. There are the T-nuts that get installed on the speaker board. And then we move on to sanding, just to make sure everything's nice, flat, and flush for the Tolex to take really well too. And then we move on to the very last step in the woodworking process, which is applying a roundover to the outside trim. We used a 3/8 inch roundover bit. It's a very messy process, so he made me a plastic apron to catch the debris. And then I applied felt to the speaker side baffle stops to prevent vibration. After you've got those in, you take a soldering iron and brandish through them so the screws can get through nice and easily without pulling on them. I learned that trick from a guy named Sven Svenson in his video on how to build a cabinet. I will link it because it was very helpful in this entire process. A little bit of pre-assembly before we start putting together grill cloths. It's meticulous, you gotta make sure you keep everything nice and pulled tight and straight, but it really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. You use the same trick with the soldering iron on the grill cloth. Did a little bit of pre-assembly so I could see the grill cloths on. They were looking really solid at this point. I was so excited. Then we started prepping up the back baffle boards. On the guitar cabinets, it is 3 pieces. On the bass cabinets, just 1 piece, which I have here. I'm prepping the space for the jack panel to go, and Amy is cutting the holes for the speaker ports on the guitar ones. This is the jack panel for the bass one, doing a little electronics pre-assembly. Here we did a little bit of cleanup of my pencil marks before we applied Tolex to anything. Here is Amy cutting all the very large pieces and smaller pieces. And then the first round of spray adhesive. Went a little over the top with protective equipment because last time I used spray adhesive I had a pretty bad allergic reaction. Got the first 6 pieces done. Those were the guitar back baffle stops. It has a removable piece so it can be open back or closed back. And then we moved on to Tolexing cabinet A. We thought we were so careful to make sure it was square and the amount of overlap stayed the same on all sides as we rotated. We were wrong. We had to peel it back and do it again. We didn't let it happen on the others though. Here we are prepping corners and trimming the excess. Then Amy doing her wonderful work on the corners. I did cabinet B all by myself really late at night. It was probably 11 p.m. here and I was tired and I made some mistakes. I put all the glue on for the round over before I trimmed it, so I had to trim it all sticky. Now I'm putting the Tolex on the back baffle of the base cabinet. I ran out of glue doing that for the millionth time. I think I went through 4 cans of spray adhesive. A little bit of assembly to finally see what it's going to look like with Tolex on. And then Amy cut out the speaker jack holes and we installed those on the guitar cabinet. Then I applied the Velcro for the removable back baffle piece that I was just talking about. That only goes on the 2 guitar cabinets. Here's the crazy wiring for the bass cabinet. Again, there is a video on that if you want to dive deeper into why there is so much wiring going on. A little bit of cable management. And then we're nearing the end. This is the scary part where you have to drill holes through the Tolex you just worked so hard to get on, to apply handles and feet and back baffle boards and jack plates. No matter what I do, there's always more sawdust. That's the truest statement I have ever said in my life. Giving them a little wipe down, and Amy cleaning up the corners one last time. And that's about it. 3 cabinets, identical size, 2 of which are guitar cabinets, 1 of which is bass, removable backs on the 112 guitar cabinets, and ports on the 115 bass cabinet. Well, that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Huge thank you to my mom, who was a really big part of the build process. She's really good at creative problem solving in a pinch. Definitely helped out when we messed up the Tolex on the first cabinet and had to do it again. She also split buying the table saw with me, which wouldn't have been able to do the project without it, so thanks again, Mom. Also, huge shout out and thank you to my girlfriend, Amy. She was absolutely instrumental in the process. She is the sole reason that the corners on the cabinets look as good as they do. She's really good at precise, accurate cuts. She also has the patience for things like sanding and just making sure everything was nice and even. She also, at the end of this project, surprised me with what is arguably the best gift that I have ever received. And it's this little guy here. She's going to tell you about it.
I don't know totally what to say about it other than I just took the scrap bits of wood that we had, of Tolex, of grill cloth, and then made some creative solutions to use a bit of ribbon for the handle and some button snap closures for the feet. And yeah, it's complete with baffle stops for the baffle boards and everything. I learned some things with this. I only made 1, not 3, so I didn't get to practice my updated efforts, but
It's so cute. That about wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Bye.